One. The ayes have it.
A bill for an act to amend the Constitution by popular initiative.
Thank you. I see a point of order from Senator Ongeri.
Speaker, I just wanted to comment that we've done this voting in solidarity with what we think the BBI is putting on the table. And I just plead at this stage, Madam Speaker, that we have made some very relevant comments, particularly in my area where we brought out one of the most deserving constituency that needs to be split into two, that's Bobat's constituency. And I plead that when this goes to the second stage, third or fourth stage, that may be considered as an appropriate, because it's a very large population and they will largely benefit, and they will hugely benefit from this split. And it will be a good thing to do, because both in terms of statistics, Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, in terms of proposal, that was captured, and we'll be very happy to see that captured in the forward. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Last point of order is from Senator Mogeni. Did I see something, Senator Mogeni? Yes.
Yes, Madam Speaker, I just wanted to give some words of comfort to my good friend, Senator Professor Sam Ongeri, that once we have enacted this bill, it will go as it is, but maybe in future, in another 10 years, when we review the constituencies, maybe we can think of Kisii. But this one now is cast in stone, Prof. It will go as it is. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Orengo.
Madam Speaker, I want to thank the House for passing this bill and say that there are a lot of people who have very simple minds, and they do not understand sometimes these processes. And it should be noted that the recommendations of the committee, the Joint Committee of the National Assembly and the Senate, in which I sat, and which Senator Omugeni, Senior Counsel, presided over together with Honorable Muturi Kigano. I think this report that accompanied the bill would be a historic document. And Madam Speaker, I'm saying this because there are a lot of people there who don't understand what you are saying. There are people who are saying that the role of Parliament is simply ceremonial. I want to repeat here that if the role of Parliament was ceremonial, we would not have taken time and go through 3 divisions and 3 voice votes. And I know in the annals of history, the debates that have taken place in this Senate will be a very important historical document. Indeed, I am hoping that in the records of this Parliament, we should not just have it in the Hansard. I think there should be a report on of the Hansard on this debate. This debate, Senator Zawadi, you will be surprised that 20 years from now, when some of us will not be alive, your speech in this debate may be used in order to try and determine, because we are the makers of this document, unlike some people think, what prompted us to pass this bill. So our work has not been in vain, and the debates here have not been in vain. And I know in the history of this Parliament, and Madam Speaker, I remember reading a report, just a report on the contribution of the Kenya People's Union during a period of time. There was a special report given at that time by the National Assembly and printed by the government printer the contribution of the Kenya People's Union in the debates in Parliament at that time. So the work we have done here is not in vain at all, and I want to commend every member that spoke on this bill. And finally, I think it should be remembered, for those who have misunderstood us out there, that the recommendation of the committee, Madam Speaker, you know, there's a very noisy part of this House.
Senators, please consult in low tones so other members can be heard.
Yeah, all the time, you know, really. And Madam Speaker, you know, these days we are very lucky. There are no people in the gallery, but there's a time when, you know, there will be a lot of Kenyans looking at how their members make the law. And sometimes what we see here is very dispiriting, because we are carrying out a very important duty. And remember, we stopped debating when one of us was arrested, because it was an important debate for which we wanted to participate. I just wanted to emphasize that the committee had recommended that the bill should be passed as it is. And the committee had made some observations, and those observations were part of the debate. So I am hoping that after passing this bill, we have to live with it. It will be part of our history, of our contribution to this country, and the courts will try to determine what we meant and what we wanted to do through this enactment. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Kavindu Mudama.
Madam Speaker, I thank you for this opportunity. I just want to say that we have passed this bill, and I'm grateful that Machakos has had 3 constituencies. But there is one area, which is Masinga, which is very sparse. I'm just praying that next time they'll be considered and given some constituencies. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Wetangula Moses.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I also want to join in congratulating this House in totality for the mature debate and the vote that we have registered this afternoon. Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, in the history of this House, no bill has been debated as vigorously and extensively and deeply as the bill we have passed this afternoon. Every single member desired to speak, and those who didn't speak probably are less than 10. And all that spoke were constructive. Even those that did not support the bill, like my distinguished colleague from Kericho, were very eloquent in their treatise. Senator Milo Manga is also gesturing at me to acknowledge her contribution. Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, and I want to say that she made very, very positive contributions. After passing this bill, Madam Speaker, there is no longer those who opposed and those who supported. It is a bill that has been passed by the House of Senate.
Thank you.
We carry everybody on board. We may not have gotten everything we wanted, but the Constitution is a living document. It's dynamic in its own nature, and there will always be another time to bring on board what was left behind or to correct what we think was excessive this time round. Let's move together as one. And I want to encourage my colleagues, Cherargei, Aaron Cheriot, Murkomen, and everybody, that as we go out now to the referendum, that let's move as one. Let's unite the country, and let's be each other's keeper. That is the only way Kenya will move forward. And even those who gloat in marginalizing others, when they realize that even those that are marginalizing are united with everybody,
we will be able to reform each other and look at this country together.
I was using my discretion for 2 minutes, so please let's not go because I'm the only timekeeper. I'm the only timekeeper on this one. Senator Gerard Gay, I'll come to you, but if you can promise me 1 minute, yeah, I'll come to you. Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this discretion.
The last.
From the outset I want to tell Kenyans, as this issue moves to referendum, that if at all the Constitution is going to be amended, they should be ready for high taxation under the Bodega Parliament and many other, since the economy is in ICU. Madam Speaker, we would have expected that the process would have been more all-inclusive. But some of us are not interested in us as fast as them, but we leave to the conscience of Kenyans. But us will continue to oppose up to Mashinani. Madam Speaker, finally, what I want to say is that Kenyans were looking upon this House. But fortunately, 12 of us have started with the truth, and we hope in the fullness of time will be vindicated, and Kenyans should always be ready for high taxation in hard economic times. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Matsaya Stewart Machine.
Asante Bispika, kwanza nataka tumshukuru Mwenyezi Mungu kwa uwezo wake wa kwamba sisi kama seneta tumeketi hapa na tumeweza kujadiliana na hatimaye kupitisha mswada huu wa BBI. Bispika, tunaangalia mbele, sasa tunaenda kwa referendum, na nina hakika na matumaini ya kwamba kazi tuliyofanya hapa imeonekana na kila mtu katika taifa la Kenya, na kwamba maseneta wanaweza kuleta majadiliano kwa hali ya ungwana, kuleta juu bila kukosana, na hatimaye kuweza kupiga kura na kupata mwelekeo. Tumewaonyesha wa Kenya sasa mwelekeo wa kuenda. Sasa tuendeni mashinani ili kuona kwamba wananchi wa Kenya wamepitisha BBI. Asante sana Mr. Speaker.
Senator of Nairobi, Senator Sakaja.
Madam Speaker, very briefly, I'd like to first of all remember Senator Yusuf Haji, who spearheaded this process. He was one of our colleagues, and I'm sure that today he is looking down at us with pride, and I dedicate this vote to him. Madam Speaker, this process was long. Senator Amos Wako has been there, but it's important for us to understand as a House that our part is now done. Madam Speaker, as Senator Orengo has intimated, there has been a lot of innuendo out there. You know, the committee had a report, I had a dissent on one issue, but ultimately, we all agreed on the need to pass BBI and on the need to respect the will of the people. From here, it is going back to the people, Madam Speaker, and they will make that choice. I just pray that all of us as leaders in this country, even as we go to the people, a process and a bill that is supposed to unite our people should not be a source of division going forward. Let us watch our tone. Let us not try and divide this country again. Let us not have a me versus them. Let us go in the spirit of one Kenya. Madam Speaker, I'd also like to appeal to colleagues as we go out there. Let us remember when that time comes, because now the IBC will have to schedule a referendum at some point. Let's remember COVID is still there. Let us not endanger Kenyans. Let us not lead to another spike of infections of COVID-19, Madam Speaker, as we go to speak to Kenyans. And finally, Madam Speaker, because we are still senators, we are still members of parliament, as I finish, many people have been saying that the country's focus should not be on this. We should focus on alleviating the problems that Kenyans are going through. This is your opportunity. We're done with the bill. Let us see proposals on economic cushioning. Let us see proposals on making sure Kenyans get the vaccine and focusing on the priorities right now, as the other institutions, the IBC and the rest, focus on the remaining part of this process. For now, our work is done on that. Let us now do what we must do. I want to thank all members who have voted, and I'm glad, Madam Speaker, that finally we've entrenched the principle of equality of the vote, that my people in Nairobi will no longer be represented 500,000 people by one member of parliament. For me, that is a scope, and the additional resources that will go to the counties. It is truly a historic and a good day for this country. Thank you.
Senator Gona Christine Zawadi.
Mheshimiwa Spika, nataka nikubaliane ama niungane na wenzangu na hasa nikapongeze nyumba nzima ya Senate kukubaliana na kupiga kura nzuri ama kura ya ndio. Na pia nataka niseme kwamba kila safari ya hatua 100 huanza kwa hatua moja. Kwa hivyo ni hatua tumechukua, na niko na hakika hasa kwa niaba ya Kilifi kuna mengi ambayo tulikuwa hatuyapati, lakini najua kwa kupitisha hii BBI ambayo tumepitisha leo, najua kuna mazuri mengi ambayo yatatufuata nyumaye. Na pia vile vile nataka nitambue kwamba kuna kaunti zingine ambazo hazikupata uwakilisho ama sub county zaidi, lakini nataka niseme kila kilicho na mwanzo huwa na mwisho, na pia si kwamba tunawaonea ama hatuwapendi, ni kwamba siku haikuwa yao, lakini wakati utafika watapata. Na hata kama hawakupata sub county zingine, lakini na hakika kuna mengine ambao wameyapata mazuri kulingana na hiyo BBI. Ukiangalia vizuri utakuta hapo ndani kuna mambo mazuri mengi, na mabaya hayakoseki kwa sababu ni mwanadamu aliyetengeneza, lakini naamini tulivyoanza kwa mwendo huu, hatua tumeanza, safari tumeanza, na hakika una mwisho mwema. Asante.
Senator Lenturi, Franklin, Mithika.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity. I'll try to be as brief as I can. And Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the minority vote, let me say in democracy, Madam Speaker, is always that the majority will have their way, the minority will have their say. What I would want the country to learn from this vote is that, Madam Speaker, we are getting to an area whereby now the public is going to decide on whether to amend this constitution or not. The responsibility on passing it is on them. So I want to ask them to not be divided, because looking at what has happened in this Senate, we may have unvalid ways of trying to express ourselves, but at the end of the day, when the vote is cast, we all come together and agree on the results. So, Madam Speaker, the only area that I feel I need to tell Kenyans, and anybody else who will be participating either in an election, in this particular election, the most critical and important thing to remember is that always this country is not independent by the citizens, by the Wananchi themselves, but by the leaders. We have a responsibility to preach peace. We have a responsibility to tell people that the referendums will come and go, but the Kenyan people must always remain united. And Madam Speaker, whoever will be participating in whatever election, we must also be willing and ready to tell people that Kenyans must be willing to accept the results of any election. Otherwise, that is one of the major problems that breaks the country. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Senator. Now, the names are increasing, so please stick to my 1.5 minutes discretion. Senator Inima Ketut Musuruve.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this time to give my comment. I want to say that this is a very good process for us as Kenyans. Now that we've agreed as a Senate that we get to the referendum, we should forget the past and work together and ensure that we are talking to Kenyans, because the things that have been ailing us as a country have been addressed in the Constitution. And we have to know that our Constitution is a living thing. Even after 10 years, maybe amendments will also be done to our Constitution. And our Constitution is supposed to serve people. And I'm sure the BBI is going to serve Kenyans. And we look back and say we did a good thing in passing the BBI. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you, Senator Milgo. Alice Chepkorir.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Let me also take this opportunity to actually congratulate the senators and actually tell all Kenyans that the senators today have sent a clear message that they are in support of the two principles, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, the president of this country, and the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga in their vision of having a country that is living peacefully after every vote. I think we have had a challenge after every vote, and in this particular bill, this one shall go a long way to actually cure a number of issues. In addition to that one, more specifically, the amount of money that will go to the counties once this bill has passed will in this case improve the livelihoods of our people. And in this case, I think our people, the Kenyans right now, out there should be able to support this bill so that we have prosperity in this country. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Kimani Wamatangi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I also rise to first congratulate all members of the Senate who have made contributions to this bill, Madam Speaker, and including yourselves, Madam Speaker, in the Speaker's team, for the good work that you've done in coordinating and regulating debate here, Madam Speaker. And finally to say, Madam Speaker, that it's good to exhale and go through what we've gone through, learn the lessons that we've learned. And to me, the bigger lesson is that the dynamism of the debate that we've had, the diversity of opinion, should not be a basis for us to have an enmity between us, Madam Speaker. And indeed, that now we have a clear way forward, and that clear way forward, Madam Speaker, is that this bill now is back to the owners. And the owners of this bill is the people of this country, Madam Speaker, who first through the promoters made the suggestions. And the beauty of it, in my view, Madam Speaker, is that indeed, by and large, there was something for almost everyone. Although some may not have gotten precisely what they wanted, but we would say that what is good in it outweighs any challenges that will be there, Madam Speaker. And I know, for example, Madam Speaker, like in the area where I come from, the area of Mount Kenya region, our people have been consistently for more than 30 years raising the issue of underrepresentation, Madam Speaker. And somehow this can now be addressed if and when Kenyans put their vote to this bill, Madam Speaker. We have issues, and that's how we started our one man, one vote, one shilling campaign, Madam Speaker. We believe that alongside other Kenyans who also have something to take in this bill, when the people finally decide on it, we will be better off as a country than the way we were, Madam Speaker, before we pass the bill. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Amos Wako.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. As a person who was the chairman of the Constitutional Committee of BBI, it's really my great pleasure that at long last Parliament has passed this bill overwhelmingly. Madam Speaker, there are 74 clauses in this bill, and therefore it will be difficult for one person to agree with all the 74 clauses. But what's important is that one agrees with the overall thrust of the clauses, of the amendments, and so on. And I think we all agree that if these amendments will carry the country forward, Madam Speaker. As we go to the referendum, I would ask the people also to look at those clauses in the bill where not much attention has been given. Much attention has been given on political issues in the bill, the structure of the executive, but there are many, many other clauses, even which deal with the economy, which are there in the bill. Madam Speaker, one particularly clause 10A, which deals with regional integration and cohesion, clause 11A, which deals with the economy and shared prosperity, clause 18A, which deals with the responsibilities of a citizen. If this bill is enacted and is endorsed by the people, I'm quite confident that it will carry and give this country the opportunity to restructure the politics, be more focused, and deal not so much to be too politicized that we forget the real issues, which are issues of economy. Madam Speaker, if that environment is created, then it will be possible to deal with the many problems that this country is facing right now in the economic field. Therefore, it deals with governance issues which would provide the enabling environment to be able to deal with the very heavy economic issues that this country is challenging. So, Madam Speaker, I recommend the people to endorse this bill overwhelmingly the way the Parliament has endorsed it overwhelmingly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Senator Muranga. And please make sure it is 2 minutes like everybody else.
Yes, Madam Speaker, when this process started, there were areas I was very happy with it, and I'm on record of having supported those areas. One of the most important area was World Development Fund, which was my original idea. I brought it before the Senate, it was passed, it went to the National Assembly, it got stuck there. So to the extent that it was speculated into BBI, for me, I was happy, Madam Speaker. I only became a little bit cagey when I saw 3 issues. Number 1, when I saw a report detailing the cost of BBI once it is passed. There's a parliamentary report that denotes that Kenya will suffer 20 billion extra shillings per annum once BBI passes. That includes to support the so-called double-decker parliament. That includes other institutions which are being created. Number 2, I thought maybe this process would amend some of the problematic areas I found in it. Most importantly, the enhancement of presidential powers vis-a-vis judiciary, Madam Speaker. I am a victim of the so-called an overbearing executive. When I was a student leader at the University of Nairobi as the vice chair of SONU, I was suspended because of an executive that was so overbearing. So when you then provide in this bill, in BBI, a situation where the president has the unilateral power to appoint people in Salaries Commission, the president seems now to have a Judicial Service Commission can just dismiss or penalize a judge. I have a problem with that. Again, Madam Speaker, there is a clause that is proposing to delete representation of teachers in Salaries Commission. Madam Speaker, I strongly believe teachers are so important in molding the children of this country. Without them, we could not become lawyers, doctors, professors. When you now kick them out of Salaries Commission, Madam Speaker, you negate the entire teaching fraternity. I'll be urging teachers, secondary school teachers, primary school teachers, to look at that clause, how it is going to affect their bargaining power, their negotiations power, particularly taking into account we have ratified international treaties that support labor. And under Article 2, Sub-Article 6 of the Constitution, those treaties are now part of Kenyan law. Finally, Madam Speaker, I think my region has not gotten sufficient constituencies. I strongly believe Muranga should have gotten the 2 extra constituencies. Nyeri did not get a single constituencies. Nithi, also a place like Madam Speaker, Nyandaro did not get a single constituencies. This idea that Mount Kenya has been getting have so many constituencies.
Senator, your time is up. We were not opening debate. We want people to thank us for being good chairs. Senator Pareno.
Madam Speaker, just rise to say that I'm happy that I have participated in this making history for this country. At least we'll have left a mark that we tried our best at this particular moment. Happy, Madam Speaker, that finally we have passed it, that we will have more women legislators, we'll have better sharing of our resources, and therefore a better shared prosperity for this country because we'll have more resources on the ground. Happy that we have passed a bill that tries to deal with the winner takes it all issue in our elections because we have a new structure that is coming in. And finally, Madam Speaker, that will go into a referendum more united on this one, looking at the kind of participation that we have had and the support that we have had. I believe this country will have a better future and that we will vote yes for our destiny come the referendum. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Very much, Senator Mutula Kilonzo Jr.